Hello guys, today we're going to be setting up our January bullet journal and I'm super excited for this video, so let's get into it. So this is just a flip through of my 2020 setup real quick as we get into January. So let's get started. This month my theme is going to be moons and stars, galaxy kind of theme. So I'm just starting off with a quote on the left page. And this quote says, "Life is too short to spend it without people you love." I thought this was great just to get me started into the new decade, new year, and a new month. On this next side, we're going to get started with my cover page for January. My idea for this spread was to have January 2020 and then a box with a moon in it. It did change slightly, but it stayed mainly the same. I did have to go in and recount using my grid spacing guide to help me to get it centered on the page. For January, I wanted to do kind of a loose, bouncy font, and I really like how it turned out. If you want to see it closer up, follow me on my Instagram and you'll be able to see a close-up picture of this January font. I felt like it was missing a little something, and I had this gold wrapping paper left over from Christmas that I crumpled up and put onto a letter. So I decided to rip off a little corner using my ruler so it had a straight edge but still ripped, a ripped look. And then I also grabbed some paint samples that I took from Walmart and I cut out a rectangle out of a navy blue that matched my theme, and I just put them on the corner and then drew a little moon. gluing it on with normal glue, and then I'm using this red scratch piece of paper just so I don't get glue all over my desk or all over my bullet journal. Now moving on to my monthly spread, I'm just drawing boxes that are 5x5 and they have one grid space in between each one. I don't always put a space in between, but I decided to this time. And the footage for most of this cut off, so I'm just going to explain what I did. So in the top right corner, I drew some moons just to keep my theme going, and then I added a paint sample and some gold on the bottom for my Instagram and YouTube trackers. I used the same January bouncy font that I have been using in the entire January setup, and then I used a grayish blue on the bottom of each square to add the numbers. So the next two spreads that I'm going to set up are my post ideas and then my brain dump. So these are both pretty simple spreads because I want to have enough room to write in them. So I'm just titling them at the top and then adding some paint samples and gold foil at the bottom of each of them to give it a little bit of a fun look and to keep it going with the rest of my theme. These next two spreads are the Music I Love spread, and this one is especially simple. I just added some moon phases on the bottom of the page and then Music I Love and the cute lettering at the top. The next page is my mood tracker. I've been having a really hard time remembering to fill out my mood tracker, so I want to do something super simple so I would be able to do it. So there's just 31 2x2 boxes, completely empty and plain, and then at the bottom there's a key, and I added some gold wrapping paper and a strip of paint sample. The next spread we're going to go on and do is my first weekly spread of January, and I wanted to try something new to start at the new year. I really like trying out new weekly spreads because that's how I find what works best for me. This one is just 8 rectangles on the page, and then in the first rectangle is my January title. Yeah, okay. Is my January title, and then I added some gold and a paint slip with a gold moon in it. The camera video cut out, so you don't really get to see me do the process, but that's what it is. Now we're going to go back and erase all of the pencil marks because I am terrified of messing up, so I go through and sketch everything in pencil before I go in with pen. Here is our final flip through of our January bullet journal setup. I had so much fun making this and I absolutely love it. It is just simple enough with just enough gold. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.